So in the last video, we added this display for the values. Here, first we checked if the count variable, which is from this MySQL num rows, if it's less than 0, then we should echo to the user an alert. Else, if it's greater than 0, then we should echo the values. But before we go to the profile.php, we need to add some line breaks here. A BR tag, some BR tags. So we just copy these BR tags and paste them here so that the values will all be on separate lines. Now the next thing we want to do is we just want to add some classes to the container, or a class to the container div, so that we can add a styling. So here we just add row data. What we want to do is we want this container div to have a margin of 0. Then also what we're going to do is here in this div with class row, we can add a style or a border, and we say border 1 pixels solid. Then we want it to have a gray color. So this is what we want for the div of class row. Then for the columns, we need to add inside of this column, we add a style and give it a margin. We want margin top, so we give margin top 20 pixels. We can copy that as well and paste here. Another thing, we need to place this the values inside that div with form group. So what we do is we add a div with class of form group, then we paste this inside. We paste inside. Likewise for this what we're going to do, we add div with class row, then class form group. So we copy this, paste in. Now we have all this. Let's just add the CSS to this container class. So if you see here, this row has a border, then we're giving a margin to the columns. So the values in the columns will have a margin top of 20 pixels. We go to our CSS. Down here, we add row data, then we give it a margin of 0 or 2. Now what this will do is whatever is going to be inside the container class will be centered. So we place at the center, and we give it a width of around 80 pixels. Now we've added the CSS properties for this class. Now what we need to do next is to view on the browser. So we go to our browser. Here we have this, we just have to refresh it. And now we see it looks better than the way it was. Now this has been displayed. Now what we want to check next is if the user has not updated or completed his profile, we want to see the alert messages displayed. So what we're going to do is we'll log this user out, then we log in a user that has not completed his profile. So I'll log in a user that we have. Then when we get here, go to the profile, and now we'll see we have the alert messages. We're going to remove this close element we have here, and the placeholder we added is not displaying properly, so we have to fix all that. Then we want all this text to appear at the center. For this we use the Bootstrap class test center. So we go to our scripts, inside the view at the top. We already added it here, so what we do is just copy this and place inside here. We place them here. Okay, another thing, we want to remove this for closing. We want to remove it. We don't need it. We don't want the user to be able to remove the alert. So we take all of them out. So we can go back to see. Now we have the test at the center, but the user can't take this out unless they've updated their profile before this can disappear. So the next thing is we need to allow the placeholder to be displayed. Now to fix the placeholder issue, let's go to the profile image function. Okay, what we want to do is if count is less than or equal to, just like the way we have it here. So if count is less than or equal to 0, then we should echo the placeholder, else we should echo the image. Here we can give it a class. You can call it image tag. What we're going to do with this class is we're just going to use it to add a margin, or we could just add a margin here so that it's going to be centered. But before then, let's see how it looks. So when we refresh, now we have the placeholder. We can increase the size of this placeholder, then give it a margin so that it will appear somewhere here. So we can change this to maybe 350 by 350. Then let's give it a style. You can say margin left, about 70 pixels. Should be about 70 pixels. Now let's go back and see. Oh, it's way too big. We can reduce. Let's try 250 by 250. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, but we can just reduce the margin. Okay, it's a little bit better. So right now, this is what the user will see if the user has not completed his profile. So let's see if we can just remove it a bit. Then, okay, this looks more better. So this is how the user's profile is going to look if the user has not completed his profile. But if you like, you could just decide to get the user's first name, last name, and email from the sign up table, then display it. So we'll just have only the gender and the description showing an alert message. But for now, I'll just leave it this way. So this is the profile of a user that has not completed his or updated his profile in the profile table. So in the next video, we'll start working on the edit.php, whereby the user will be able to edit his profile.